Morning, morning, morning.
Or are you starting it?
I thought we were like going to do it together.
Go for it.
Like,
Go ahead.
Morning, 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 and welcome to Coffee and Tequila.
We don't need, leave it all out. Leave all the intro out. I might as well have come in here with a little bottle of whiskey to just swig and take a drag of my cigarette and say, welcome to the Coffee and Tequila show where we come whenever the fuck we're going to come.
I'm Alastair.
I'm Zach, and this episode is kindly being sponsored by Helix Sleep. As always, I'm very sorry, Helix Sleep. We're going to lose our damn sponsorship.
No, we're not. We're good.
Oh, my goodness, guys. We are here. Are we back? I don't know if we're back. I'm back.
Let me tell you, my schedule has been hectic. I have been going for work. Like I swear it's every other week that I leave for work.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm about to leave for 10 days for work.
He's going to leave again. Yeah. He's about to leave again. So this isn't even like... We've pre-recorded a couple things so that we'll have some stuff. By a couple things, I mean one thing. So we'll have an episode with him, and then I think I just have to start doing it without you. I've really been trying to hold off because people like it when we're doing this together, right? Like I know all of y'all. Like I always get comments. When's Alastair coming back? I did 2 episodes without Alastair. One with
They did well though. They did well, and I will say
the comments
guys,
were always like, "Where's Alastair?"
I am a person who's going to be on and off on Coffee and Tequila as much as I want to be permanently on.
Yeah.
However, I would really appreciate the support when we do have guest stars.
We should have been a lot more grateful back in the day when we were complaining about your deployment and complaining about, you having to work a little bit later sometimes, because that was nothing, absolutely nothing. Because guess what? Now he's gone every other week. I learned that he's going to leave like a week or 2 beforehand, and he's gone for days and weeks at a time, and it's just it has been very hard to get this show running with the with his schedule. So I do apologize. And we are just going to, from here, we have to just work with it. And
at this point, guys, we are still being a little bit more consistent than we were before. And I just hope that you guys, stick with us.
Just forgive us, please.
One day we will have a beautiful schedule. It's where everything will be super predictable.
It really hit with this summer when you were when you had to change command. When you took command this summer, we really had to. That's where it started spinning out of control, I think.
I just found it funny when you went to my change of command, and afterwards you're like, "Oh shit, this is a big deal."
Well, I figured I showed up. I felt hungover, but I wasn't even hungover, and I just sat there and they handed me a bottle of wine too instead of flowers.
Yes.
They handed me a bottle of wine. They're like, "Hey, sir."
They asked me, "Would your husband prefer us present him with flowers or wine?" I said, "Well, you can't really drink flowers, so let's do wine."
Oh, whatever. It's for him. It's mainly for him.
We still haven't. We haven't even opened it.
I don't know. This military lifestyle thing is pretty tough. I'm just lucky I don't have any kids, because if I had 3 children like my mom did, shut the hell up. Brando, you're a child. But if I had 3 kids like my mom did, I can't imagine doing all that, taking care of the house, getting work done. She was going to school full time as well at the same time. So, big kudos to her, I guess. Cheers to my mother.
Cheers to your mother.
Yeah.
And for us, the house is easy because it's like a dual.
It's an apartment, but we're about to move too. So it's just the whole thing is really hectic right now.
Literally, when I get back, we move.
It's crazy. But we are going to stay consistent. I hate saying shit like this. I hate giving promises or saying anything because I feel like I shoot myself in the foot once it happens.
I really try to separate my military career from anything I do outside of the military. But I feel like at this point, like I'm getting so many more opportunities outside of the Army than I would have thought before, and I don't know. It's hard.
What are you talking about?
Well, I was talking about Shortugal, but we said we
wouldn't
talk about that.
Aragon?
Yes. The Aragon yeah.
He makes it sound like he's being invited to red carpets left and right. He has just got all of these opportunities, modeling opportunities. No, it's a pretty big deal. There's somebody who wants him to do like an Aragon podcast with him. And so you might... He told me that. I said, sir, do you don't even do coffee and tequila. What the hell are you going to do an Aragon podcast too?
Well, I had a meeting with Mike, and I even told them, I said, hey, just so you know, I do have work.
Yeah,
And so I'll
yeah.
be doing stuff for work. But the thing is, like, I just need to be disciplined. I need to be disciplined so that when I'm available, I'm like completely available.
But the thing is, like, that is your job. You know, that is what's making you money, and so you have to. You do kind of have to put that first sometimes, and we understand that.
Definitely.
And so we are just going to roll with the punches. We're just going to get going with it. I am really happy for you. I do think you should do the Aragon thing because I think it's kind of really cool, and it's something that you can go and do like with separate from us. You know, like I don't think
It's a me thing.
It's a you thing. You need
Yeah.
your own thing. He did just get back too. He got back and then we got sick, and I knew we were going to get sick. I knew it. I knew it because every time you go away, you come back and you bring an illness into our household. You bring it into our household. And I thought, it's fine.
It's not
I thought,
monkeypox, guys. It's not monkeypox.
you bring monkeypox into this house, I'm divorcing you because I have whatever phobia that is of all the little dots and stuff. I won't be able to deal with it. I'll throw myself off the balcony. Okay? Do not bring that into my house.
I'm not going to bring monkeypox into the house.
I'm terrified, y'all. Terrified.
But apparently monkeypox has come to El Paso.
Has it really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Well,
Because I think it's like contact based, right? So it's
did you just
contact-based.
give it to me? Seriously, anytime I get dots, like an ingrown hair or anything, I'm like watching it full time for like a week. And I'm just like,
Well, I got
to
a
see
pimple.
if it keeps going or not. And I'm super paranoid about that.
I got a pimple the other day, and he said, "Is that monkeypox?"
Well, you have like red dots on the back of your arms.
That's called like
It's-
strawberry
we
skin.
we looked it up. I don't remember what we
It's called strawberry skin.
whatever it was that we came up with, but I looked at it one day and it was like flaring up, and I'm like, "Do you have freaking monkeypox?"
Like it goes in and out. Like sometimes I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, my skin is fine, but sometimes it's all like strawberry, like, but not in a good way.
I do not know. What have we been up to? Like literally just moving and getting everything ready to move. We don't have any exciting things to talk about. That's why That's why this is the perfect episode to come back with it. We can talk about the news instead of ourselves.
Well, I feel like we do have some. So I've been sick for the last week. So for the most part, work wise, I've been working from home and signing a bunch of stuff. Meanwhile, I've been like binging every series I can binge at this point. And honestly, for the most part, they've been gay series that I want Zach to watch with me, but he's been like working on My Bloody Judy stuff. So like at this point, I watched Uncoupled with Neil Patrick Harris. It was really good, and I think that you need to watch it. It's a little bit rich white gay, but I like it. And I watched Queer as Folk, the new one, which I liked. I tweeted about it. I really liked it. I really liked all the Buffy references in it. I think
Oh yeah, everybody keeps saying there's Buffy references, but then a lot of people like attack it and say that it's not good.
Okay, so
There's a lot of criticism about that show.
well, I mean, I feel like anything gays are going to criticize.
I just opened your phone the other day. Which show was it that I opened your phone and I looked at his pictures, and he has like a picture of just two men and a bunch of dildos in front of them. What was that?
Oh,
I can look at it now.
That was my Twitter.
No, it's on this. What is it?
It was my Twitter.
What is that?
Oh, that's Queer
What show
Folk.
is that? That's Queer as Folk?
They're watching Buffy right there. They're actually watching Buffy. And he's like, oh my gosh, Angel's a vampire? And I was like, that's when I ran into the room and I said, oh my gosh, they're watching Buffy. And it continues to like be like a whole thing, which I really love with it.
But what else have we been watching? We saw Bodies. That is a ride.
That
man.
was really,
that was
really
so that was so good that we're going to see it again tonight. It is.
We
well
haven't
worth
seen
the
Bullet
watch.
Train.
It's a
We wanna
tight,
talk
like
about
hour and a half movie. It is so funny, also, and it's got such great things to say about our culture these days. And I felt both seen and attacked at every line that everybody said at all times. I've not seen a movie in such a long time that I felt like I was like actually in the movie with them.
It's very younger millennial, older Gen Z.
Yeah, but it's just so funny too, and like it's. I mean, it's satire, it's a critique. It's just really really funny. I highly recommend that one.
It's a kind of a whodunit.
What it is a whodunit. Well, that's what I would say. It's a murder mystery like comedy rather than horror
with like a lot of twists.
What else did we see? We saw Bodies. We saw Prey.
We saw Prey,
Prey's really
which
good.
was like I thought it was pleasantly surprising.
Just like the princess, how we said the princess felt like a Slayer origin story. I think Prey felt like a Slayer origin story also.
Did you see my tweet about it?
No.
How are you not following me up on this?
He doesn't like any of my stuff
like-
either. He didn't like any of my
That
tweets,
is not
any
true.
of my posts. He doesn't watch any of my stuff. Sometimes he asks me, "Are you going to cover it for my Bloody Judy?" And I say, "I did 2 weeks ago, baby."
Well, I tweeted. I said, "You can't tell me that these two don't belong in Tales of the Slayers."
Ah, this is a good
And I'm
one.
talking about the princess and Prey.
No, she
Yeah,
great final girl, great final girl. And I'm not even like I'm not super in the know about the Predator franchise either. You know, I have seen AVP 1 and 2, and I've seen the most recent Predator movie that came out. Do you remember when we went to the theater to see that?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I've seen them all, and let me tell you, the first Alien vs Predator. I know people don't like it, but I freaking love it. I love it, and I was so
What do people
disappointed.
not like about it?
I don't know. They're just haters. But like, it follows a woman who really becomes a badass and teams up with the Predator against all the aliens. And it's really cool. And I was so disappointed that Aliens vs. Predators 2 did not continue off of that. It was actually just
It's not
like
the same characters, is it? It's
No,
like a
it
whole
isn't.
different story.
It's a
yeah.
completely different story.
But when we come back, we're going to go through a couple of news stories. We're going to talk about Britney Spears and her whole little headline thing right now. We're going to talk about Heche and Olivia Newton-John. God, this is a little depressing on the tail
A little
end,
bit,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't even have
It's it's not a good way to come
We
back.
should have capped it with a game or something. I don't know. We will be back in a second.
Ooh, we can open that little small thing.
Okay. Yeah, we'll open one of those. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in a second. Now it's time to tell y'all a little bit about our sponsor for today's episode, Helix Sleep. We have had our Helix mattresses for over 2 years now, and we absolutely love them. We have a king size Helix midnight mattress right now. We, for some reason, our sheet like out of nowhere now keeps like slipping up though, and I don't understand what that
It is very out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it keeps slipping up and showing the white mattress underneath, and it's like making me paranoid that this white mattress is going to get dirty and stained. So we need to get a cover for it. We really need to get like an under mattress protector for it.
Helix is a premium mattress and a box company that makes beds to fit your unique sleep style. Helix knows that everybody is different and everybody has their own unique needs, and so they've made a sleep quiz that'll match you with your perfect mattress based on your needs. I am an all-over sleeper. Alastair is more of a side sleeper. He likes a firm mattress. I like, more medium. We took the quiz together, and we got the Midnight Mattress. And one of the best parts about Helix is that they deliver the mattress right to your door for free. It comes rolled up in a box and is super easy to set up yourself. And if it makes you nervous to buy something online that you haven't tried, Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you absolutely love it. And if you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund.
Now, if you're somebody you know is in the market for a new mattress, do you think that Helix sounds right for you? You can go to helixsleep.com/tequila, where you can get up to $200 off of your mattress and
2 free pillows.
And we are back. I guess we can open one of these while we're doing it. Does that seem dark, talking about all these dark topics while we're opening it?
I'll be honest, I didn't know about Heche until we started filming.
You haven't really kept up with much of the news. I mean, fairly.
No,
But like
I found out about Olivia Newton-John like
at the end of
a
the day,
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
a day late, and he came into the living room. I also feel like I haven't talked to you all that much.
I was so sad. I listened to her songs all night.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't even talked to you all that much lately, which is weird. We're in the same house, but it feels like we've been a little bit disconnected.
Well, I feel like when you have news, you don't like immediately tell me anymore. Like
Sometimes I just read it on my
You're
phone
like-
though, and I'll like bookmark it for like something like Coffee Tequila and I guess I forget to just talk to you about it. Does this mean we're on the outs? We're on the road out of our
you need to be
relationship?
telling me stuff. You need to be excited to tell me stuff. I don't know
'Cause
why
he
you
came
not.
in-
I'm literally watching a show that you don't want to watch, and when stuff happens in the show, I run out to tell you exactly what's
You do
happening in
do
the show.
that.
When,
It's
like,
me. It's a me problem. I'm
People
just
in real
closed-
life stuff in real life is happening, and you're not telling me.
I'm just closed off, I guess. Yeah, but when Olivia Newton-John died this past week, you came in at the end of the day and you said, "Hey," this is when we were sick, by the way, and he said, "Hey, did you know Olivia Newton-John died?" And I was like, "Yeah." You just found out about that.
It was so sad.
I know, and he got sad, and he like went back in there because we were sleeping separately at that time because I was not sick, and I was worried about catching it, so I was sleeping in the living room, and I could hear him listening to all the music, and it sounded like you were crying, and I went in there, and I opened the door, and I like looked into the darkness, tried to see your face. I'm like, "Are you crying? Were you crying?"
I don't know. I watched
'Cause he said he
Xanadu on repeat like the entire night.
I still don't know what that is. I got gold.
Well,
Buzz
we're gonna have to
Lightyear.
watch Xanadu then. Xanadu, it's like a skate disco.
Okay. Well, and she's had like a TikTok sound that, or a song that went like really viral on TikTok
What's the Grease
recently
one?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, she definitely picked up in the news. What'd you get?
I got a stitch,
A stitch.
a little stitch.
You got a stitch.
No, but she died on August the 10th. She's been battling breast cancer for a while, and she passed away. And I was looking up more stuff about her. I think whenever people pass away, like you always like want to see like how their life, was.
Yeah.
I've been like a casual fan of Olivia Newton-John for a while. She did her Let's Get Physical.
I think if you're gay, you know who Olivia Newton-John is, even if you're not like a diehard fan.
Well, I'd say she's one of those iconic people that people at least casually know about. They know that she's in Grease. They know about Xanadu. They know about her Let's Get Physical stuff, and they know about her icon status, and the fact that she's always just like looked great.
Yeah.
And it was just sad to see that happen. But she's lived a long and full life.
Yeah, it seems like she lived a full life, and she did a lot of stuff with cancer research. So that's a wonderful legacy to leave on. I have. So I think I agree with you that I've been doing more research on Olivia Newton-John after she passed, which is terrible, right? Like I feel like I should know about
It's
her
not
already.
terrible.
Did you know she had a boyfriend who disappeared at sea?
No.
He went on a fishing trip with like 22 other people, and he went solo with them, and was lost at sea and wasn't reported on for like a month. It was something like back in 2005.
Those stories about people being lost at sea always get to me.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of conspiracy theories that he like escaped to Mexico. It's weird, man, but I really want to like look more into that. But yeah, that was really sad that she died, and she was like 73 or something. So she was she was really young.
74, maybe.
73 or 74.
No, 73, you're right.
Yeah. What'd you get?
I got a Princess Leia.
I got Captain Marvel.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like it.
And then we have one more. Yeah, so that was really sad. What else happened?
Oh, wait.
Did we go into Anne Heche if are we categorizing it this way? I
Um,
don't want to
no.
end with Anne Heche though, so let's just go ahead and do it.
Let's go ahead and talk about NH.
That was that one is wild to me. So Anne Heche, about a little over a week ago, got into a car accident, and she crashed her car into somebody's house, and the car just blew up, and it like she had like severe burns all over her body. They had to pull her out of a burning car. There was video of her being like put into the ambulance, and she was on the stretcher, and she like raises up, and it's just the eeriest freaking video that I have seen in worse than any horror movie. And it's like being taken from like a helicopter or a drone or something like that. And so there was I think that day she had been on a podcast or had done an interview or something like that, and was talking about how they were they each had a bottle of alcohol, and they were drinking already and already a little tipsy. She was pictured that day with alcohol in her car. In the toxicology reports, I believe they found cocaine. They found that she was on cocaine, and she was also. Media reports always make it sound weird anyway, so they say that she was being really erratic and really manic and having like a manic episode because she was out like buying a wig, like a red wig, which I don't think that says that she was being manic. I don't think buying a red wig means you're manic, but she was clearly like under the influence of a couple different things, it seems like, and she was driving her car, and there's like security footage of like her driving down alleys and on the street, and she like almost hits a pedestrian, and I think she crashed into a garage. It was a hit and run. She left the scene of the accident and then sped down the street like 90 miles per hour and crashed into the house right after. And she was, at first they said she was in critical condition, but they think she could be okay. And then she went into a coma, and I don't remember if it was a medically induced coma or not, or if she just went into a coma. I have to imagine it was probably medically induced, right? Because
I'm not sure because she was on life support at that point.
Yeah, I'm sure the burns were like really excruciating. And so she was in the hospital, and then days ago, I think it was like Thursday or Friday, they said, yeah, she's brain dead. She's pretty much brain dead now. I think it was April 11th or August 11th that they said she was brain dead, and that she wasn't going to make it, and they were just keeping her heart going to because she was an organ donor, and so they were trying to find matches for some of her organs to donate. And I could not believe it reading this stuff, And she's 53 years old, I think, and so it's just a wild situation. I believe she has addiction issues. I think she had mental health issues. And so a lot of people are saying there's a lot of conversation about it, and a lot of people are saying, well, that's the cause of all of this right here, and that she was kind of in a spiral. And then some people are saying, well, she got what's coming to her because there was a woman in the house that she hit. When her car exploded, that was injured pretty badly. So they're like, she could have killed that person. She could have killed that pedestrian that she almost hit. And so, I don't feel bad for her. And I think you have a lot of people that are like one or the othering. What is this? Oh, baby Anna.
Baby who? Anna?
Yeah,
Oh, Anna, yeah.
From Frozen. That's unhinged that we're even doing this while we're talking about this. But it's wild, and the conversation seems to be going one or the other. And I haven't even really wrapped my head around the whole situation yet. Like, clearly, if she has addiction issues, that's just so sad, and that the addiction would have won out in this instance, right? Or the mental illness would have won out in this instance. And at the same time, yeah, both can be true. That it's terrible that happened because of, and that happened to her, and that she died so young. But it's also terrible that she almost killed somebody, and she could have killed many people.
I mean, it's a terrible situation, and it could have been due to addiction issues. It could have been a really bad day.
Yeah.
There's unfortunately a lot of things that can lead to badness.
Yeah.
And at this point, I think I'm sad to see her pass. I'm sad that she passed in such a horrible way, and I'm grateful that she was a donor, and that people are going to be able to live because of her. So.
Yeah. So good comes out of it. It's starting this whole conversation about this. Like, I'm glad people are talking more, but it's always good when people start talking more about addiction and mental illness, because I don't think those conversations can ever really, there could never be enough conversations about that. It's just sad that she had to pass for people to start talking about this, right this second. She has two adult children who she's left behind now, who are like probably devastated over this, and they're probably having to see all of this chatter about their mother. And they already know like what it was like living with her, right? So they know how she was, if she had addiction issues, if she had mental health issues, and it's probably devastating for them. I think she has a movie coming out September 17th, 16th, 17th.
Really?
Yeah, on Lifetime, that they're still going to be putting out, and so it's just a sad situation all the way around.
And it's always weird, not weird, but it's always I don't know what verbiage, adjective to use for it, but when an actor or an artist passes away, and then you see their art after the fact,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is the last movie or last thing that they did before they passed away, and it's surreal to see that come out.
I was already an Anne Heche fan because of I Know What You Did Last Summer, because she was in that, and then she was also in a remake of Psycho that was, I think, is terrible. To each their own, but she was like fun in it, and she had the look for it, and she looked like she was perfect for that role. But there's a movie that I used to be obsessed with when I was a kid, and it was a Lifetime movie, LMN Lifetime. I don't know what the difference is there, but it was called Gracie's Choice, and I used to watch this movie all the time when it would come on. It was this. I would watch this movie and then watch a movie about like a woman who murders her husband in the Hamptons. Like, those are my two favorite Lifetime movies. And this one was Anne Heche played an addict and a woman who had all these kids, and she was in and out of like their lives, and like she wasn't really raising the kids. She had like addiction issues, and she had all these boyfriends, and she would take off and like come back and take off and come back, and she was really good in it. She was like, that performance was fantastic, and it had what's her name? Kristen Bell was in it, and she is one of her earlier roles, and she played a teenager who has to take custody of these kids and raise these kids, and like she adopts them, and it's just a really good movie. I highly suggest going and watching that one. Maybe give it a little bit of time. It's kind of like morbid right now because of the subject matter. But Anne Heche was fantastic in that role. And then in Hung, did you watch Hung with Thomas Jane? She was in that too, and she was really good in that.
With
Also,
the male gigolo.
yes,
I watched it and I thought it was gonna be gay. It wasn't.
you see a little bit of the top of a bean.
I think like they even had like prosthetics.
Well, Thomas Jane's like gorgeous. I think Thomas Jane is so hot, and so he was my draw. But then Anne Heche was like really good in it. You know, she played his ex-wife. So it's a tragedy all the way around. It's a tragedy that, you know, whatever issues she had kind of won out in the end, and then it's a tragedy that there was people who were almost killed through this. You know, and there's somebody whose house was destroyed because of this, and you know,
And that's also if she had issues. I don't want to like.
I think it's safe
put
to say
something on anybody when
did.
we don't know.
She did.
Well,
She did.
I
She had a really.
I'm not.
Have you ever looked into her home life, her childhood growing up?
I have not.
It's really messed up. Her dad abused her sexually when she was younger. I think out of like 4 or 5 siblings, I think 4 of them died, including her. There's like 1 sibling left. I think her mother disowned her when she started dating Ellen, and and her dad was gay too, and like ended up dying from AIDS, I think. So she had like a really turbulent upbringing anyway. And it seems like she's just had a really turbulent life, and it's always sad when that happens to somebody. But
I forgot about her dating Ellen.
I think Ellen even put out a statement about it, saying, offering her condolences. It's just really sad for her family right now and her kids. I feel terrible for her kids, but I don't know. I guess we'll move on from that one. Sorry, got a little sad there. Into something.
And really, whenever we talk about people passing, I want to treat it all with as much respect as we can.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry, we weren't like joking through it.
Yeah, we're very sad that both Olivia Newton-John and Anne Heche passed this week. So.
And then Britney Spears. There was some drama. There's been some drama with Britney Spears. I'm not gonna. Have you looked up any of that?
I have, yes.
We can do a brief rundown. I'm going to end up doing an episode with Troy, like a pretty long episode with Troy. He's my Britney buddy. We do all our Britney stuff together.
I know. Whenever anything happens with Britney, you're like, I gotta call Troy.
Yeah,
I was like,
I had to call Troy that night because Kevin Federline started releasing. I guess Kevin Federline ended up doing these interviews
for ITV
for some British channel. He couldn't even get an interview in America.
That's the Love Island channel, right?
I don't care. He couldn't even get an interview in America, and so Kevin Federline comes out of nobody freaking was listening to Kevin Federline. Nobody was thinking about Kevin Federline. Nobody was talking about Kevin Federline, and he snakes his ass back out after 20 years.
Well, you know why, right?
After 15 years, and do I know? I don't know. Do I?
Well, just to let you know, because obviously you're not in the know.
Fill me in, Bubby. Fill me in.
He's doing this because soon he's going to be cut off from all of Britney's money once the kids turn 18.
Well, it's about 2 years because I think her oldest, Sean Preston, is 16. So it should be about 2 years before the first one is.
And now he's making what, $60K a month?
No, it was like 40.
Was it 40?
Yeah, it was like 20,000 per kid. Roundabouts there, but she paid for everything anyway. So she paid for the schooling, she paid for anything they needed, all of their. So really, he just had an extra $40,000 a month to kind of fuck around with. And I think he got. Well,
he has other kids too.
He has 6 kids,
and then he has
2 with Shar Jackson, 2 with Britney, and 2 with his current wife Victoria. And so, but he's been in the shadows. Nobody's been asking about him. Nobody's been doing anything with him. And then he's decided to do this interview where he's gonna he brought an interviewer into his home, and they talk about how the boys don't want to see Britney anymore because she's
scandalous
whatever
on Instagram
reasons she's posting nudes and that's embarrassing to them. Of course, I would be humiliated if my mom was doing that, right?
You know what?
But it's not.
I would be supporting your mom. I'd be like, yes.
No, but that's for Kevin to do. Kevin needs to be telling the kids hey, that's just what she's doing right now. But it's not hurting anybody, right? It's not hurting anybody. I understand that it's really embarrassing. Maybe we need to talk to mom about this. Start talking, but he's doing an interview now. They're pretty much throwing Britney under the bus. So she came out with a statement about it. And then he released 3 videos one night, just randomly one night on his Instagram. His Instagram, by the way, had nothing on it, and he just put the only thing on it was 3 videos back to back where she's yelling at her kids, and he's we didn't want to do this, but we decided as a family to release these videos.
And it's her saying, it's her being a mother to teenage boys.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's all her being a mother
He
to
thought
teenage
he did
boys.
something there.
And trying to discipline boys that unfortunately she doesn't have as much control over. And they, for some reason, thought it seemed, for me, it reads as super manipulative. And I think I told you this.
Yes.
Where it seems like, oh, yeah, look how terrible. He's like, oh, look how terrible it is. She wants to take your phone away from you. Isn't she so horrible?
Like, really, all that's in those videos are her yelling at the kids, and it's like cut together. So, like, you can't even really hear the kids back talking, but it's her yelling at them. And she, like, uses the F word a bunch. And at first, I was like, oh, I grew up in a dysfunctional household. Alastair, I need you to walk us through these videos because I don't know if that was abusive or not. But I was like, I don't think that's abusive. It just sounds like her kids are being shitheads, which who out of us has not been? I was a terrible child. I backtalked. I remember when I started cussing just to see if I could get away with it, and I started saying little things at a time. Shit was my first word, so I just would say shit and then I never got in trouble over it. And then when I said fuck, I got like my ass beat.
Well,
But yeah, what?
I would just say my mom could artistically insert the F word
Yeah.
in each part of a sentence.
I just think that parents do that. You know, those videos looked exactly like a parent-child relationship, and I didn't see.
But they are
a whole
framed
lot.
as being abusive. So he's framing them as being abusive,
Yeah.
and also Sam Asghari. I'm sorry. So I read Sam Asghari's statement,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew about the Kevin Federline posting the videos. Didn't Sam Asghari say put his statement out first before Kevin Federline
Before he
posted
released the videos, yes. Yeah. So it was definitely like a retaliation thing. And he really thought he did something. It's Britney like parenting her kids and getting shitty with her kids because her kids are like talking back to her. And she's like, they're funny videos too. She's like, and you're being fucking weird because you're going through puberty. And there was nothing there. There was nothing there. I can't wait to talk with Troy about all this though. Like we're going to do a whole episode. We're waiting on Kevin's big ass interview to come out because we have to wait because it just seems when stuff starts happening with Britney, it's like a snowball. She's about to have a song come out, allegedly, rumors, with Elton John.
Is it called Rumors?
No, called Hold Me Closer. It's a cover of Tiny Dancer with Elton John. And that's about to come out. And so then he releases these videos and starts releasing these interviews. And it's like, why can people just not let her be happy? It hasn't even been a year that she's been out of this conservatorship. Why can people just not let her be happy for a little while? Jamie Lynn's got to release a book at the top of the year immediately after the conservatorship to bank off the end of the conservatorship. Kevin's doing this. Everybody's got coming out with stories and trying to like pin her down and call her crazy. And it's just like this woman is not finding any damn happiness.
Well, it's also like the framing of the interview, right? Because he's talking very good about Jamie, at least in the clip.
Oh, yeah. He's
from
like
the interview, which is very interesting because months ago that wasn't the case.
Well, I mean, Jamie freaking abused his kids, like broke a
Yeah.
door down and shook them. You know, they had to get either no contact order, restraining order, restraining order, I believe. Yes,
At least a protective order.
protective order. There
Yeah.
you go. And so, like, but now you're sucking Jamie Spears' dick. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Allegedly.
We'll get into all the details when I cover it with Troy. And
And here soon we're going to be covering something else that's a little scandalous.
what are we covering? Oh, Jeanette McCurdy's book just came out. We're gonna
Yes,
we're gonna
I
cover
finished
that
it today.
Yeah, we're covering that on Friday.
I'm very excited about it.
It's gonna be. It's a very good book. It's very well written.
I would actually recommend. So we
What is
tried
that one?
Well, we tried to get a physical copy of the book itself. Let me tell you, it sold out of everywhere. Which here it is. It's so important for you to pre-order books for authors because one, it lets the publishing houses know what's doing well.
Yeah.
And two, it helps out authors in the first place. And the thing is, I don't think the publishing house understood how successful this book would be.
This book is like sold out on Amazon. It's sold out of our Barnes and Noble, so I know it's selling out at other Barnes and Nobles because we're in Lower El Paso, you know.
Yeah, and we just reserved. So I reserved because they're getting copies, and I reserved the copies, and then we downloaded the Audible version of it.
Yeah.
And I would say, I mean, I haven't read the physical version, but I would say the Audible version is great. It's read by her.
She's really good at that too,
Yes.
at narrating. I think so. But we'll talk about it.
She's a trained
Yeah.
Actress. It's very good. So if y'all are reading the book at the time, or if y'all don't want to read it,
You have about a
whatever.
week. You have about a week, so you know what's coming up on Friday's
Yeah.
episode. So you have about a week to read it or listen to it.
So
It's
that
very
way y'all
short.
can like talk about it.
If
with
you
us.
listen to it on Audible, it's about 5 hours, and if you listen
it's
to it,
about 6 hours.
it's about almost 6 hours. If you listen to it sped up, it goes by super quick. So you read it in what, 2 days? So it's super quick. You definitely have time, and then we can all talk about it on Friday. But we will.
And if you don't want to read it and you just want the highlights, that's fine. Just
There
show
you
up
go.
anyway.
There you just show up, and we will we'll have drinks and talk about it and gossip and all that. But I think we've come to the end here. So
I
we're
know.
gonna-
Well, look at us coming back.
a little speedy episode. We're going to the movies right after this, so we're trying to finish before 8
Oh
o'clock.
my gosh, I forgot about that.
But thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring this episode again. And we will see you guys on Friday.
Adios, gentle listeners.
He's leaving me this week, so you won't even be here when that episode actually premieres.
I'll be gone for about 10 days.
Yeah.
So, who knows what's going to happen after these next couple episodes? We'll see.
It's okay.
Well, it's also interesting because like we're doing these next couple episodes. I come back and we almost immediately start moving to the next house, which means that we're gonna have to tear
we have
down
like,
the studio.
but we have like a month, which is so good. It's so nice that we'll have like a month in this place between when we get the keys for the new place.
This will be our
and
vacation place.
for like a month. Yeah, it'll feel like we'll have a vacation apartment.
Well, we're moving the bed last.
Yeah.
But that does mean that we're gonna have to take down the studio. We're gonna strip it down and we're gonna have to build it back up.
I'm excited to do the new one though, because then we're going to be in a master bedroom, which is a little bit bigger than this one, and I think we're going to turn the master bedroom into the studio, and we're just going to take one of the spare bedrooms as our, because we have like 3 pieces of furniture in our main bedroom.
It'll turn into our studio / us displaying all our collectibles because we've turned into major collectible.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible! It's terrible. Okay, that's it. Goodbye, guys.